how would you feel if I felt uncomfortable with what you wear?
That can be asked of a man too, because y'all got them great jogging pants. And baby, when you be putting on them great jogging pants thinking you finna run some errands without me, it's absolutely insane. Welcome to the Pure Intentions podcast, where real love, raw emotions, and intentional relationships come together. Welcome back to the Pure Intentions podcast, where we talk everything relationship from an intentional point of view. I am your host, Chrissy A.
I'm your co-host, Sir Anthony.
And today we are going to get inspiration from our Beyond Dating cards that you guys should have purchased by now. But if you haven't, you can go on our website at
pureintentions314.com.
And you can purchase our Beyond Dating cards. This is for the couples that are actually committed in a relationship and just want to, keep that little spark alive with opening up the communication. So let's just get some inspiration from it.
Okay.
You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay. I'm going to shuffle it up a little bit for you. Oh, I accidentally left the instructions in there. It comes with instructions. These are some nice, hefty cards. They strong. Okay. Pick a card, any card.
That one.
That one spoke to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So this is me saying it to you, so you mean you first?
However we want to play. If you want to do it like that, it's a shoot or puller.
Let me change it around. I'm not going to read it verbatim because I think this is a question that should be asked to a woman. So how would you feel if I felt uncomfortable with what you wear?
That can be asked of a man too, because y'all got them great jogging pants. And baby, when you be putting on them great jogging pants thinking you finna run some errands without me, it's absolutely insane.
Really?
Yeah.
So what should I do in that case?
Put on something different.
Really?
Yeah.
So to all the fellas that's wearing the light gray jogging pants,
they just shouldn't buy them.
Why not?
Unless they just wearing them for their significant other. That's just my perspective. I didn't realize how deep it was because I heard the gray jogging pants thing, but that day that you threw them jogging pants on and I was minding my business, and you like, baby, I'm gonna be right back. And I looked up and I'm like, be right back where?
That's true.
So I didn't know the extent to the gray jogging pants until I experienced it in real time.
Okay.
So that question is for you too.
Okay, so I'll read it verbatim. How would you handle feeling uncomfortable with what I wear? That's what it said, but I changed it. So with the gray jogging pants, it's a no without you.
It's a no without me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, your turn.
I ain't feeling that one at all.
But if I'm wearing them around you, then what?
It's a party. Okay. How important is personal space to you?
It's important. I know on one of the podcasts you asked me that, and I was like, long as I get to go down. And that still holds true. Hang out with my boy Terry. Shout out to my boy Terry and Indy. The little time that I do take and what I'm spending with the very few guys that I call friends or family, or when you take your outing and then I have the whole place to myself in peace.
Feels good, don't it?
It feels good.
So we were supposed to go see Kimura this weekend, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm like, no, babe, you can go. I want to be there. And I thought you were really going to go. And I'm like, oh, I'm going to have the apartment to myself for the whole weekend. Like, I was excited about
you was
that.
Kicking me out. Okay.
No, I wasn't kicking you out because I wanted to be there too. I love my personal space. I love when, we can take that time apart. I love the fact that you don't call me, bugging me where you at, what you doing when I am going away. Like, it shows a level of trust, and that feels good, to not think that, oh, why she taking so long, what's she doing? Or even the fact that, like, yesterday you had somewhere to go and my friend's like, we ain't ready for you to leave yet. And I'm just like, well, I gotta get home to my man. And they was like, You always get him. And I'm like, well, it's somebody's birthday. However, I was enjoying spending time with them. And the fact you like, okay, well, it's cool just as long as she back by 11, it's fine. Like
Yeah,
I love that we're able to do that because it's a lot of people that don't know how to separate and detach and they feel like they have to do every single thing together
yeah, and that is not healthy.
at all.
So guys need guy times with the guys, and then they need alone times just with themselves for personal peace, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So
I think that it's like a fear associated with that when you've been heartbroken so many times or you've been done wrong so many times or you have trusted somebody and then it's like I've given this person my trust prior to you and when I did that they fucked me over
yeah,
and then it's like I have to relive that and give somebody else my trust. It's not that I don't want to trust you. It's like it's hard for me too because I have trauma still there from my previous relationships.
yeah, I understand that. But to me, and that's what I feel. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's like a normal cycle where if you guys trust was broken in the last relationship, especially if it was a repeat thing, and you're in something new, and you starting to get those spidey senses of okay, you're doing stuff a little different, you're moving a little different,
Mhm.
so it start to do a trigger.
Yeah.
With me, I don't want to relive those traumas. I want to be able to trust who I'm with, and if
Mhm.
I'm having that them spidey senses, then that's gonna accelerate me like figuring out what's going on really early instead of like in the past. Gave them more benefit. I gave them more, shot them more bail than they should have been shot, and it was fucked up on me in the end because like I went this long without stopping what was going on when I saw the signs in my face.
Yeah. And realizing who your partner is because you know how they say you tend to date the same person over and over again because you don't learn a lesson from the past relationship.
Hmm.
But sometimes I think we confuse it because we have these like things that people say, what I just said, those little sayings, and they confuse us to think like, oh, well, this probably the same shit I went through in a past relationship. But no, it's a different person, it's a different vibe. You can now approach the situation different, like you just said. I know when my spidey senses are tingling now I'm finna open this line of communication and
Hmm.
have this conversation with you, a healthy conversation with you, not a accusation type of conversation. Because it is hard to trust when you've lost trust, even if it's with a new person, and you start to see, because it can be as simple as going outside like how I was outside all day. Like you didn't blow me up, you didn't hit, you know what I'm saying? Like it could be something as simple as that, and you just really just enjoying life. It's like who you enjoying life with if it ain't me? You know what I mean?
I get I get those people. When I say people, us as people have those insecurities, but I'm just like I'm not at that level yet, so I'm like, go on, do your thing, have fun.
Baby, you got this chill that I've never experienced before.
What you mean?
Um from a man that actually cares to turn off your care. That's the wrong way to say it. I'm not gonna say that.
Like you confuse me, huh?
It's like you have a fuck it mentality. Like when we have our issues and we have our arguments or disagreements, like I was telling the therapist this, and I was like, I be like all in my head and messed up in the other room, and he just laughing at the TV, and I be like, what the fuck is so funny? I'm over here miserable, and you dying laughing.
And you want me to be miserable with you,
But
don't
I don't want you to be miserable. I actually admire that you're like that. Like there's a sense of um I'm gonna stick with my word, admiration. There's a sense of admiration there because I tell you, by you being the leader of our relationship, in relationships you start to mimic the other person. So you have qualities and traits that I don't possess. And because of that, I'm learning from you. I'm watching you and I'm learning from you. And unintentionally, I start to prohibit those same behaviors
Mm-hmm.
because I'm watching the man that's leading our household. And it does make sense to not like drag it. Like I still have Chrissy there. Like Chrissy still exists, but then I have hints of you where it's just like, just don't blow this up right now. We'll talk about it when it's time to talk about it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a time and place for everything.
Yeah.
And this is just how I be feeling. If you, I'm very simple. So this principle, this is gonna explain that, and then moving forward, very simple. I care about what I care about, and I don't care about what I don't care about.
Okay.
So if it's something you've seen some things where I'd be like, where you would think I would care. If I don't, then I'm not gonna put the effort there when it's unimportant. But
Mm-hmm.
when it's important, you'll see a change and a perk up or and if you just kind of see those waves or those vibes, you can be like, okay, like some things that if it's water under the bridge, I can't do nothing about it. I'm gonna just chuck it up. Like, but if it's something to care about, then you're gonna see my
Can you give
attitude.
me like an example?
Oh, that's a good
Like, what
question.
do you care about? What will be something to care about, and what's something like, water under the bridge?
I'm a family oriented person, and then you will like call me and ask, "Can so and so come over? Can we?" I don't care about. Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Stuff like that. I'm at the point where you don't have to ask. I mean, as long as I'm not here in my drawers, you walk in, I'm like, give me a heads up
Yeah.
if somebody coming in with you, that kind of thing. But I don't care who you invite over because I'm pretty sure you're gonna invite somebody who's gonna. This ain't gonna be a danger. They're gonna be somebody that's gonna be with a friends or family. I don't care about this stuff because of my household or my past that I grew up in. We was you see it. It's so inviting. So we don't really we do care about who's around us as long as their energy is right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not any reckless person gonna be around us. You
Yeah.
ain't gonna bring no violence. You ain't gonna disrupt this love that we have. If you can come into the space of love and peace and fun and happiness, by all means, come on.
Right.
So like, I get it from your perspective. Like, baby, can so and so come over? Can we do? I don't care. Yeah, come on.
Yeah, but sometimes you might be tired, or sometimes you just don't feel like company. You know what I'm saying? So it's always that good for that heads up.
I get you on that. I get you on that.
Yeah.
Just don't catch me in my drawers. Somebody walk in. You might see a surprise.
Oh, you got the cards. Oh Lord. No.
Might be swinging. Which one speaking to you? That one? For us.
How can we support each other's self improvement?
I think we doing it in several facets. Already like with this podcast,
Mm-hmm.
with the businesses that we work on a daily basis and then therapy that we in. So I think we're doing that. So maybe I should like think about that from a perspective of because I think we're a couple steps ahead of the game
Yeah.
in that respect. Like, what if we're not doing all this? Not who's having a couples podcast
Yeah.
to help them talk out their issues. Who's black people don't go to therapy in general. Like we're just starting to embrace that. Like, so if we coming from a space without this podcast, without the therapy, I'm gonna answer from that perspective. So I guess it's got to be the cliche of the communication thing, and then the shameless plug of cards like these
Mm-hmm.
to help you open it. Because like a question like that, I don't think either one of us would have ever just sat down, whether in good times or dinner or whatever, and I just come up with a question like that to ask and answer.
I would have.
You would have?
Yes.
Really? I wouldn't have. I'm gonna be
Yes.
honest.
Why you think these cards exist?
I'm just the average woman out there.
Yeah, no facts. Because I remember when before I created these cards, there were other cards that I utilized for dating purposes. And it was like other women shaded the cards.
Oh, I got you.
Hmm.
I feel you.
And it was just like, you take cards on your date. Yeah. And guys loved it. Guys loved it for the purpose of sometimes when you first dating, it's like the typical questions that you asking, and it's like, what happens after that? And it just seems so cliche, and it starts to feel like every date is exactly the same, and we're getting nowhere other than the fact that we're attracted to each other. Like, you telling me what car you drive, what you do for a living, is not telling me about you, your core values and things of that sort, and how
Mm-hmm.
you act in certain scenarios. So I'm not really getting to know the person that I want, that I can consider a lifelong commitment with. So then you fall into this space of, okay, I know he fine as hell. I love the way he smells. He smells real good. And all those sets off those senses and those nerve endings that lead to sex.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you have sex, you don't hear from this nigga no more. Or even the other way around, because women out there like that too, that will have sex with you and be like, yeah, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Like, we not gonna act like we ain't in a century where that exists heavily now. So I feel like that there are these cars are necessary, if you, because most, I know our audience is mostly women, so I would say get these if you're dating. Not particularly these cards, but if you want these cards, that's fine too. But if you're dating, actively dating and trying to figure out, and you're looking for lifelong commitment, purchase our um intention starter cards,
The black deck.
because yeah, the black deck, because it's like, guys, when I was dating, guys love that. They don't have to come up with something out. And I know. Y'all probably thinking like, well, they should know what to talk about. But sometimes people are nervous. Sometimes people don't know what to say. And we in such a sensitive world where it's hard to communicate with people that you don't know. You don't know how they're going to respond. You don't know how they're going to feel about the questions that you ask. So if there's pre-prepared questions, it makes life easier.
And you know what I've heard, and we need to get this on the show. We probably have it in one of the other clips, but most times when people use these cards, like really use them, they so engaged with them, you only get through with like three
3.
questions
Mm-hmm.
out of 50 something cards. So
Yeah.
just imagine that you can keep, this ain't a one time thing, this ain't a first date thing. Keep doing this on date night, whatever, and just bust out the cards and then get to know your mate or your partner at a little deeper level of questions that like you probably wouldn't have thought about of, well, my baby, she thought about all of it.
Period. We'll move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Also your turn.
It's my turn to do you. Okay.
Do you believe in asking a father for permission to marry his daughter? Yes. If he's
Yeah.
around.
Yeah.
God bless your father's soul, but he's not around. If he were, I would ask. But I like that, for me, that's like a no brainer. But we got to look at it from the respect of like this new audience. Like they,
It's not a thing anymore.
yeah.
Yeah.
You okay over there?
No, yeah. Yeah, I forgot I even created that card. Cause it's like, it's an important card though, because like, it shows the level of care and respect that you have for a woman and the father that raised her. To be able to be like, to go to him and be like, I want to marry your daughter, but I don't want to do it without, you giving me your blessings. In, in regards to biblical days, that's what they did. You
Mm-hmm.
couldn't get to the daughter without going through her father.
Mm-hmm.
So it speaks on a sense where you still connected with God in a way, sort of, um like, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So you YNs like eventually y'all gonna get it together. This is what I noticed. Even though each generation, we always say this generation not worried about them. Like our
Mm-hmm.
parents was worried about us because we were couch potatoes. We watched TV, we played video games, and they thought we was gonna be the worst generation. And
Oh
now I'm looking at this social media generation like, oh my God, they're gonna be y'all gonna be all right.
yeah, because
In
they
time.
in reality, this social media generation, I love how they speak up for themselves. I love how outspoken they are, and they don't let people just push them over. But then, like a lot of them are lazy,
Mm-hmm.
because it's like everybody want to be Instagram, TikTok famous, and all of that. So there's no drive to do other things. But then again, they're also entrepreneurial spirited, but they just need that guidance.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So just like you said, every era there's going to be the older people saying, "Oh, this generation," but
Mm-hmm.
it's always something that's so beautiful about the generation coming up, and we have to like grab onto that and help them through that.
And I think the key piece of it is like it takes other generations longer to learn the lessons.
Hmm.
It's gonna be faster for them.
Yeah,
And then the generation after them faster for them before you get it. When I say get it, like this thing called life, um, it encompasses everything in it. So, but stop being so foolish early on. Like, it's some things y'all can listen to. Pull your pants
yeah,
up.
definitely pull your pants up.
Y'all know where that came from? I'm pretty sure y'all know. Look it up. From prison. You're signaling that you want something in your butt. Pull your pants up.
Yeah, it's very unattractive. Like, I mean, some girls like it though.
I
I
mean,
think boys might like it even more. If you know what I mean.
moving along. Trying to get you to get that
Should you alter your social media image if it makes your partner feel uncomfortable?
one. I've done that. I've done that in the past, meaning restricting my personality because I was dealing with somebody with insecurities. And if they see, okay, not only do he look good, you know, he's doing things that look good and he has a great personality because we both know, well, a lot of people know that personality can trump looks in most cases. And so
Yeah, with women.
with women. So if a woman is looking and they see this guy, he got a great personality. I'm about to slide in his DM. So I would restrict my personality just to not have that issue of having to argue about this and that and who's in my DMs. And it's like,
Well, somebody gonna slide in your DMs. They gonna slide in your DMs, like, cause I'm pretty sure who you talking about slid in your DMs.
yeah. I think that was really what it was. Is one of
Yeah,
those cases of trying to prevent what you was doing, trying to prevent the karma.
yeah,
And one thing I learned about karma, oh, it's gonna come back.
yeah.
It's gonna come back fierce and when you least expect it. So don't do it so it don't be done onto you. Is my advice.
I've had a guy tell me that I was too exposed on my social. Mind you, we was not together. We hadn't even went on a first date. I met him online.
He
Let's,
ain't got no right to say nothing.
but he told me that if I don't change the photos on my social media, that guys were going to only try to talk to me to have sex with me. However, even though we can say, well, you ain't my man, woo, 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 I took heed to what he said.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, you know what? I do get a lot of attention from guys that I feel like is not the attention that I want. So I did alter my social media. It wasn't because for him, it was for me because it didn't align with what I wanted out of a relationship and out of partnership. So in that sense, it did make sense.
Yeah, it do make sense.
Yeah.
So I feel him on that, but he came about it a little early, but he was strong enough to say something like that. And a lot of these women, maybe you need that kind of advice. You
Yeah.
thinking that showing your ass on like have y'all ever thought about when y'all become like grandmothers in your 50s, 60s, how embarrassed your grandkid, great grandkid gonna be, even your kids when you look up you 50, 60, and they homeboys can go on the gram or whatever platform gonna be out then and see your ass, like your whole ass and your pussy from an app.
They ass and pussy not out like that.
Some of them, they pussy is out.
You
Like
can't
you see
even
the,
have it out
you can see the
on
print.
certain social media.
You can see nipple prints and pussy prints and all of that
Well,
stuff.
in reality, like we was talking about the era we live in, I don't think people have those thought processes of what they grandkids gonna see, because in reality they might be like, oh, your grandma was a cougar. She was a MILF. Like that's the attention that they gonna get. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? But at the end of the day, I do feel like that depending on what it is that they're looking for. Like your social media is yours. So if you showing your ass and all of that is what you want, just know the attention that you're going to attract from it.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not going to find some wholesome God-fearing man that's going to say, "Oh, I want to wife you up and make you a God-fearing woman." You know, unless, huh?
Continue, because that has happened.
How? When?
We was just talking about Megan Good and her Devon Franklin.
Megan Good wasn't a
She ain't no hoe.
right.
Megan, you ain't no hoe.
That's a different scenario. I'm talking about women who enjoy parading around, showing their ass, and it's not necessarily for a man all the time. Some women do it because that's where they find their confidence at. And if that's for them, that's for them. Some women probably don't even want a relationship or a long-term commitment. Like I had to come to realization that those women exist. Like in real life. I'm not one of those women, but we're not going to ignore it like they don't exist, you know. So everybody not for everybody.
That's true.
No, I also asked you to alter your social media
What you asked me to alter?
because you still had your ex photos
Oh,
on your
that was no
page.
problem to take that stuff off.
Yeah, it was a process though.
It was a process, but it wasn't a problem. I was just talking about like me out there with my gray jogging pants on and just like this, just showing the print.
No, nigga. No, it was a thing for me at that time because social, it don't have to necessarily be the clothes you women wearing. I guess that's why I'm bringing it up, because altering your social media doesn't mean like all the time it's something that you're exposed wearing, or your personality that you're showing on your end. It could be something that could be affecting the other person emotionally, or mentally. And it wasn't about insecurity. It's just like you in a new beginning. Like all the old stuff shouldn't even be, especially since it caused you a certain level of trauma and we still healing from that trauma. Like we shouldn't even have access to that, to seeing that all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And I think I was talking to somebody about it before, and it was like, well, those are their memories.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I get that, but a picture of you and your ex, it ain't like y'all in front of the Eiffel Tower. It ain't like you trying to keep the picture because of a historic landmark, or you know what I'm saying? Like it's just you and your ex posing in the camera. So it's like, no. If you want to remember that, that means you still want it. Because why are we remembering it?
I got a question with that.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna solve this on the show live. Um, so it's one picture I think I did keep up there only because it's with some of my favorite rappers. Shout out to Skyzoo. Shout out to Fillmore Green. But I'm like, we posing in the picture with those guys,
Mm-hmm.
and that's still there.
I think you told me that.
I'm asking again, do you want me to delete it or not?
I mean, for me, it's like me seeing her isn't a problem. Me me seeing y'all hooked up together is the problem. Because it's like, if all my friends have your social media channel and it's me and you at the top, people be scrolling.
Because they
And then they
nosy.
scroll down, and a little bit after me and you, it's you and her in the same way that me and you are. It's like, oh, he got two bitches. Like, no, we
But
not
the
doing that.
receipts say like old shit.
No, we not doing that.
Okay. No, I'm asking about that. Like I'm with
Yeah.
a couple of my favorite rappers, producers.
Now people gonna scroll and try to find the
They gonna
picture
find
just
it
to
to
see
see.
what your ex look like. You know that, right?
It is what it is.
So now they finna find your
They
ex.
probably is gonna try it. I've been talking about this on the show since we
They
started.
had no clues though. You know how social media is.
If I'm watching the show and I'm talking about this and I see they socials, then I'm gonna try to scroll it. If I'm messy and nosy,
Okay.
you watch them reality TV shows. You know exactly what they do.
Okay.
Want to cut this piece out?
No, I don't care. You ready?
Wait, it's my turn, ain't
Is it? Yeah.
When we have different opinions, what's a good way for us to find common ground? We do that a lot. That's what's going on in this situation.
Yeah. That's like our entire relationship, honestly.
So give the people some advice.
Um Having differences of opinions, I feel like the way that we get around it is like, in reality, this is my thought process, right? People say agree to disagree, right? However, some things isn't agreed to disagree because they cause for action. So it's like, if I think that we should go left and you think we should go right, somebody got to give in and either just say fuck it, you right. You know what I'm saying? And with that thought process, it's like, I don't have to be the victor of every conversation that we have. Like, sometimes I do give it to you. Sometimes I give it to you.
Okay.
Sometimes I give it to you. Sometimes I become the apologetic one that say I'm sorry because of X, Y, and Z. And it's like, sometimes it can be exhausting, but it's necessary. And I'm learning slowly but surely to pick my battles. Like, it's a lot of things that I don't agree that you would say, and I'd be like, it ain't even worth it. It ain't worth it. And it ain't even just with you. It's in all my relationships, my friendships. Like, when we was hanging out yesterday, oh, I picked my battles a lot yesterday. And sometimes you gotta learn to just shut your mouth. Like, everything that you feel don't need to be said.
This is true.
Yeah, so yeah.
Another card?
It's my pick.
No. I got to pick.
You just picked that.
What you been drinking? Give me some of that.
It's so funny because he's going to go along
Okay.
with this. No, wait a minute. He's going to go along with this that y'all experience. I'm so glad this is being recorded. Y'all experience in real time how this works. He literally just picked that card, read it, handed it to me, and I set it over here. When you edit in this, rewind it back and show them what just happened.
You got it this time, but there's times where that be happening on your side.
Yes, I'm 100% believable that happens.
We got this on
However,
camera.
we don't have me doing it on camera.
But we gonna get it.
Let's do a different one.
Nope.
Can we do a different one? I want something that's gonna like really spark. I kind of want to do the intentions. That was the same card.
that we just did.
Yeah. What's one dream you have for our future?
To travel the world and discover new things and meet new people and be billionaires. Not billionaires, wealthy. I'd rather that. Wealth is better than a monetary value. Because wealth can be anything. Wealth can be your health, wealth can be your happiness, or it can be monetary to the point where you don't have to worry about the rat race.
Would you be okay if we didn't become really, really wealthy in the sense of
Monetarily.
monetarily?
Now, are we struggling? Are we back in the rat race? Or are we at the plateau that we are now? Because I don't want to stay in this. It's a nice plateau. It's disposable income, but I've been hitting my head on this glass ceiling for the last almost 10 years, and I'm tired of. I got a lot of bruises up there. I want to get past that from bumping my head.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm asking, what's the threshold?
Well, I'm just saying, like, do you feel like I would be enough?
Monetarily?
I'm just saying, like, period. Because we can have dreams that we'll be chasing and chasing it and they won't come true. Like for me, I would love for this podcast to do millions and billions and quadrillions of numbers, and a lot of people get invested into it, and we create an audience that wants our advice and appreciates our advice. You know, we have the audience that's small right now, but in my mind I want it to be huge. I want to touch people all over the world, you know. And it's like, if I never get that, would I still feel complete and happy with not
That's a
having it?
question to yourself.
But I'm asking you.
If we never get it, are we actively chasing it
Yeah.
and investing and putting our all into it?
Mhm.
Now I do believe, because I've started multiple businesses over my lifetime, so I know I've been in businesses where pouring into them, and then this really is like they say, like 5 years later, then boom, profitability
Mhm.
or whatever that you're going after that happens. I've been in some businesses where early on it's profitable. You make some not so smart decisions because you're banking off of, like, it's like with the rappers that come out with a one hit wonder, like they got it, they the man now, they seen everywhere, and then when it's time to put out another song, they fall off. Like, what happened to so and so? What happened to so and so? Because you were given the gift too early, you didn't
Mhm.
appreciate or learn the appreciation along the journey. So when you got it, to make it sustainable and longevity. So I understand those dynamics of it, but as long as I will feel good about it, because I've done this in the past where I put my all into something and it just didn't work out. You just have to let that go by the wayside.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. However, I have this gut. You know how you have that feeling that um
It's gonna happen.
it's gonna happen, and this is what I really think. Might have to cut this out the show. I do get distracted on other things instead of focusing on my core calling, because I'm a person that likes to help other people. So I'm helping everybody up along with me. If I just be selfish for one moment and just focus on my thing, get through that, and then come back and help everybody else, I think that's the test that I'm like constantly failing, because I'm like, shit, I'm gonna bring everybody with me. And like one of my
Yeah.
favorite rappers say, everybody can't go. Shout out to Benny.
Yeah. What's your core calling?
To give back. It's some
But you
yo,
said like you want to focus on what you were
oh, that
meant to.
core with the marketing company. So at every point, it's like I get to the point where it's profitable, it's doing its thing, but I'm like, okay, let me sit. Since that's on autopilot, it's gonna do its thing. Then let me focus on some other things to bring that up along with me. If I just stop and focus, that's kind of what I was doing over this weekend. It's like a new service needs to be introduced, this social media service.
Yeah.
And it's time to put some effort into that, like how I put into every single one of my clients. I feel that this is how I really feel about my business at times. Like the mechanic. You will see a mechanic that can do cold work on your car, fix your stuff all fine, but he had a raggedy car. Why? Because he's so focused on making everybody else stuff right, he don't have the time to put into his own car.
Yeah.
And so,
Do you feel like pouring into what my dream is kind of affects that too?
in a sense,
Okay.
because it's also my dream too. So it's like we're building this together. I'm pouring all of my videography and editing and marketing prowess into this. So it's like this my baby too, but I don't want to just like put this on pause and then go. But then again, I'm like, okay, if I just went focus only on the marketing company, and then we circle back around to this, we can do this in an effective way, like like how we do. We shoot a bunch of podcasts, and we're ready for the next things, but not like how we've been doing lately. Like it's been like a lot of concentration into this, but it's a good concentration.
Yeah. Okay.
It make you feel some kind of way.
A little. It's not a feel some type of way like because you expressing it to me that I feel like upset or anything. It make me feel like it makes me feel like that I should because I haven't been as invested into the podcast as I was. And it's because I do feel that from you. Like I feel like you would rather just focus on what you got going on. So I haven't been posting on social media as much, and editing our videos because now I feel like I have to basically pour into what you're doing. You know what I mean? Like I have to do that part. I have to be that person now.
Why you can't balance?
Um, cause sometimes it's draining.
Which one is draining? The marketing company or this or
Yeah,
both?
your marketing company.
It's draining.
Yeah, your clients are draining as fuck. I appreciate them, for the business, but it could be a lot because it's like that's like your dream, and like when you doing your dream, it doesn't feel as like much work as doing somebody else's dream. Like doing this might feel like a lot of work to you. Like how I always be like, let's shoot a podcast. Like to me, that's fun, and you just like, no, no. I had the conversation that I want to talk. I want us to do like talk and whatever outside of the podcast about things. You was like, well, we do that on the podcast. Like we got to do that to work. So now you thinking that talking or communicating about certain things is work because of this podcast. So it makes me feel like, damn, like, you know, I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. We'll talk about therapy. Yeah.
Whose turn? I lost track.
I don't know neither.
How do you cope when you feel you're overwhelmed?
Oh Lord. I feel like I just
You just
talked
did it.
about being overwhelmed. um Honestly, I just keep pushing. I just keep pushing through it. Like it's a lot of things that cause me to be a little overwhelmed. Sometimes you gotta like take a break, like take a beat, and just be like, I gotta set this aside for a minute, and then I watch everybody else problems on reality TV. But yeah, sometimes you just deal with it. Um, I would say the poster board answer, the perfect answer would be pray and then meditate about it. But honestly, recently I haven't been doing that. I do feel like I need to get back in tune with doing that because it does help a lot. And I don't pray as much as I used to. I don't meditate as much as I used to, which is why I probably feel more overwhelmed than I normally do. Um, Still pray, still meditate. It's just for shorter periods of time than how it used to be. So it's crazy because we don't like to talk about it, but relationships take a lot out of somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Like it changes who you are if you don't stand firm in who you are. And it's like the change could be good, and sometimes it can be draining. Sometimes it could be unhealthy to the relationship. Before you, I was going to poetry every week. You know, I was writing a lot before, and it's not to say it's your fault. It's completely me. You know what I mean? Um, I feel like I pour a lot into our relationship that I don't pour into some of the things that I used to love to do so much, even with exercising, going to the gym 3 to 4 times a week, or um stretching for my flexibility to happen. Like I feel like I kind of like put those things on the back burner. And it's just like more so, oh, I got a man. I love this man. I want to be under this man. I'm going to cook for this man. I'm going to make sure the things that, make sure he feels at peace in his home because he invited me here. So it's like, oh, you got to clean. You got to make sure this is, that's what my mind does. It doesn't do, let's write a poem. Let's release some of this energy. It doesn't do that right now. So like the past week, I've been out a lot with my friends because it makes me feel like I'm getting a sense of myself, the self I was before you, if that makes sense.
It's all about balance. And then for me, I believe in seasons. So, and I know my seasons and cycles. So, like I told you, like we used to work out together in the summer, um, but that was the season. So right now, this is for me. Every December, January is the dip in business. But then everybody has their New Year's resolutions. They want to come back and do everything bigger and better. So I start getting clients around this time. So right now it's head in the dirt like an ostrich and start to, do all of the work. So then around spring can reap the fruits of those. So I know my seasons. So the workout seasons for me don't start back to going hard spring to summer. And I know that doesn't
So we're
work.
just getting fat all winter. Me, not him, because he doesn't gain any weight.
And I know my body and my metabolism. It's like what comes in, my body's just gonna work on it instantly
Yeah.
and use it for fuel, or the rest got to go.
But even in that sense, like your cycle is your cycle and mine is mine. So it's like even though that's how your process works, I was working out and you didn't even exist in my life. So I technically don't need you to work out. My mind just needs to go back to
Mm-hmm.
just because you're in a relationship doesn't mean that you're not an individual.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been struggling with that and recently coming back into that because you see now I just get up and I start stretching now and I do my own thing, and I went out with Elena one day, the next day I was with E, and then the next day we stayed at dance practice, all you know what I'm saying. So I'm slowly creating my individualism. That's a word, right? It feel like it
It
is.
is.
I feel like it's a word. Yeah. I'm getting back to that. So yeah, don't lose yourself in your relationships because we tend to do that. We tend to lose who we are. And it's not to say that your relationship is like bad.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't have to be in an abusive, messed up relationship to lose yourself. Sometimes we start to depend without knowing we start to depend on the other person all the time. Like, oh, I want to go to the store. Can you go to the store with me? And then it's just like,
Mm-hmm.
you wasn't here when I was going to the store by myself. I'm good, but I'm definitely gonna call your ass and tell you come get these groceries out the car. That's the benefit of the partnership. Okay, we find the benefits of partnership, and we find the benefits of our individuality, and we make that work.
Well said.
So I did want to talk about one more topic before we like close out. And no, it doesn't have anything to do with the Beyond Dating cards, which you guys should definitely go purchase because that was light work.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the work that make you sweat. Some of these cards in here gonna make you sweat.
Don't tell them that, then they won't buy it.
No,
If
that you need
for,
to make these niggas sweat.
for my guys, and see, for my guys, if I gotta answer these questions, that's gonna put the beads on my head.
They might
I'm
make the
like,
women sweat too.
fuck that pure intentions.
But it's better to get to those questions in the dating phase rather than get in it after the honeymoon phase.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of
You don't
after
want
the
to go on a date and then you realize that sister girl only got one hand.
I'm not finna play with you.
She was bogus though. She should have told the man, like, I just have a little. I'm fine, but I just got a little something going on. Are we still? Is that something that you can look past, or is this a deal breaker? And let that man be honest. Like, nah, sister, I can't do that. Like, well, he'd be like, you know what? I don't care. Come on, let's go out.
He could have eventually bought her a new hand, a prosthetic.
I think she knows more about those programs to get a prosthetic than him.
Anyways, speaking of honeymoon phase, when you are exiting the honeymoon phase, there's like a certain drop in the relationship that happens when you get into the comfortability stage. They feel like dating isn't as important as it used to be. Or it's not that it isn't important, it's just like, I got you now. So I think that thing happens. So I want to talk a little bit about the importance of continuing to date while you're in a relationship, even after the honeymoon phase.
I'm gonna answer two ways because I'm biased, and then I gotta like erase my bias and answer it. Like how somebody want to connect in the audience. So for me, I don't believe in you got to stop courting your woman throughout. So like that's the fun part of all of this.
Mm-hmm.
So like if you notice what we do, we go out, whether it be whether it be a little lounge or club or whatever, or it just be couples thing, or it just be like our own little thing, or even if it's just like karaoke at whatever capacity it is, whether it's packed in there or it was just us in there. Like I like that. That's the fun part about being with your woman. You want to go out, get dressed up, eat, have a good time, and that's a normal part of if I don't do that as much, then I start to feel like, damn, that's just me. That's the bias part of it. But there's some people that are like, okay, I did all of this in the beginning to get a like now it's time to Netflix and chill, or like why we got to do all of that. Like, bro, listen to me from brother to brother. You gonna have to keep courting your woman, like, because if you don't, you run the risk of that complacency, and then she be like, damn, it's almost like your representative came out after the fact. This is the person who you are, and if that's who you are, you should have came in the door that way, to be honest. If you're not a person that's going to go out and court her, buy her nice things, take her shopping, that kind of thing, don't try to do that to get her. Like, be who you are in the beginning. If that ain't good enough, then that means y'all not aligned. um but if you see that as something like, okay, this is a wake up call, like I came in the door doing this, then perhaps I should keep doing this. It ain't got to be probably as often as you were going through the door, but you're going to have to keep some kind of cadence with that,
Mm-hmm.
because she'll see that. She'll complain about that. And if you're bucking like, man, she tripping, she always want to do X, Y, she might open the door to that nigga in DMs that's willing to take her to these places and better, and that actually will be willing to do that. And that's my advice to you, brother.
Yeah. There should be a distinction between what is dating and what's not in a relationship. Because like everything you said was like real. Like, yeah, we go to the bar, we go to karaoke, we do those things. We would go get something to eat, sit down and eat a lot. Um, but we don't do fun stuff, you know?
We have, but
Like
they have been in your book fewer and far between. I know what you're getting at.
I
We
think
ain't
it's
been to that VR room yet.
no, check it out, ladies. This is what I've been doing. Every time I've been telling him I've been wanting to go do VR. I'm like a nerdy type of girl, so I like to do like fun things. I like laser tag. I like video game. Like I'm like that type of girl. So I'm like, I want to go to VR. I want to go do this at VR. And he like, okay. And I feel like he hears me, but I think that I would have to make it happen for it to happen. And not
No,
saying that I have to pay for it. I have to grab your card, schedule it for it to happen, for us to actively go on
that's
it.
not the case.
Hold,
It's been bad timing.
hold on. Because it's like bad timing is
The
crazy.
last time we was trying to go, it was booked up because of what holiday?
It was my birthday.
And what's the
But
next
my
day?
but we could have been did it though.
That's true.
But wait a minute. So I every time I saw a video of VR, I would share it and send it to his phone. Nudge, nudge. We need to go to do this VR thing because I really want to
We're
go.
gonna go.
And I believe that we're gonna go.
Yeah.
I feel like we would have went sooner if I would have paid for it to happen with your card. I feel like, but I refuse to do that because I want to feel like you said courted. I want to feel like
And
that
that's
you planned the date
You
and
see what I'm saying, fellas? I'm slacking and lacking over here. So I'm gonna check her DM. So if that little goofy nigga go in her DM, like, I take you to the VR shop, baby. I'm gonna respond back to his ass. So like I gotta step it up. This what I'm talking about. Step it up, fellas. Cause I'm slacking. So you slacking and we slacking together. So get our shit together.
so yeah, period. So the importance of dating, even after the honeymoon phase, it builds a level of intimacy and a connection. Like our therapist asks, how do you guys connect with each other? You know what I'm saying? It builds that level of connection. It puts you in a space like if you're doing something fun or that the other person likes to do, you can actually have tough conversations in that space because it's like now we're more relaxed. Our brain is like more relaxed, and now we can have those conversations that if we was cooped up in the house irritated by each other, it would go a completely different way. You know what I mean? So there are a lot of different benefits of continuing to date even outside of just because you want to date. It builds that strong bond between you and your partner. It helps you to get to know each other on different levels of life and life's experiences.
Mm-hmm.
Like I definitely want to do escape room with you, and I like doing escape room because you see how people minds work. Like if you was in this situation where the time was running out, and this is the question that was asked, what are you gonna think? Or what are you gonna grab? What are you gonna do? So like I'm excited to go on these adventurous dating journeys with you. Like, yeah, we've done the bar, we've done restaurants, we've done the typical dating experiences, but when it gets to Chrissy's dating world, and then like we always dating with your family.
They are homies.
Yeah, but it's cool to date without them
I'm
too.
sending this video to them. They blacklisting you.
I would really actually love to do like the VR with your family and the escape room with your family and stuff like that. Like that would be cool, but like let's do you seen Ghost, the movie Ghost,
Mm-hmm.
where they mold in the clay.
Oh yeah, that's
They
cool.
got the downtown.
Okay.
We can do that together,
That's
and
one over
so
in Beverly too.
yeah, see? We can do stuff like that together. And that could be just me and you type thing where we bond with just us.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Do you have any closing remarks or
Fellas, step your game up or else. That's all I got to say.
or else?
It really is, or else, because what's going to happen, there's a process with this. You'll keep throwing nudges and then you'll complain. And then when she stops complaining,
Oh, that's when you worry.
that's when it's time to worry. But we so stupid that we don't even know it. Like, oh, okay, relief. She's not complaining no more, but she already checked out and out the door.
Yeah. I mean, because in reality, I can just grab your card and do these things with my friends, but I'd rather do them with you. You know, like I really want to build that level of intimacy with you. So, yeah. I would really love for the people that do watch this and watch it all the way through. Like, give us some topics that you want to hear us talk about.
Mhm,
Like, even if you don't want to go on the website, I would recommend that you guys go on the website to our X Pure Intentions
mhm.
page and submit something that you want us to give you advice on. Like, I absolutely love giving advice all day. I love giving advice. My friends call me for advice. I call them for advice. Like, we are a community that need each other. So lean on us for advice. Also, if you want, if you're watching this on YouTube, comment down below of topics that you want to hear us talk about, like that you feel like is somewhere where we can give advice for intentional relationships. Um, yeah, that's all I have today.
Until next time.
Period. Thank you for watching.